You're watching Two Pricks at the Ashes. Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Two pricks at the ashes.
Two pricks at the ashes, two pricks at the WACA, Cooper, two coffins, maybe three.
It's been a miserable day for England here at the WACA. At least one Poms managed to dump an Australian. England's second innings, as we talked about yesterday, was characterised by quite a lot of lazy stroke play. Something which wasn't a feature of Michael Hussey's play. England are going to have to work out how to bowl at Hussey. They haven't got him out for less than 50 in this series yet. What do you think they could do differently?
Didn't they have a plan for 06, 07? Didn't they have a dossier, if I remember, with bowler outside the line of off stump and try and get him driving? This time they've come over and they've decided that bouncing him is a good idea. I think probably getting him killed is probably their best chance at the moment. Or just let him go. I think in an outfield against Swan. And just let Swan really attack him rather than this whole, oh, he's getting after Swan. If Swan goes to 7 or 8 or over and he gets Hussey out, well then that's a bonus for him.
Good news for England fans is that Hussey averages only 31 at the MCG, which can be tempered slightly by the fact he averages 101 at the SCG.
There's no rocket science to the game of cricket.
Funnily enough, even though the batsman failed twice here, it looks like they might play another bowler at the MCG. Looks like Tim Burton might come in, probably be Collingwood who makes way.
Do you really think they'll make that change? It's a big call to drop Collingwood when it's 1-1 in a tight, close, gritty series. Because he's a tight, close, gritty man. And I also think on the slowest pitch, that it will suit him more because this pitch he was just found out because he's too old. But
yeah, and admittedly, it's been a difficult test for England because Graham Swan really hasn't been given the overs that he might have expected. The MCG will be a different pitch, it will take more turn, but I think England have really found out this time that playing 4 bowlers without Stuart Broad is more difficult than they would think.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see whether they want Finn in a 4-man bowling attack. So you might be right, they might bring Bresnan in.
For our team, and I also said to the guys, I think morning of day 3, that it was no coincidence with the amount of emotion and intensity and energy we had in the field. It's no coincidence that we ended up bowling and fielding the way that we did. That's just the way that cricket sometimes works, and for us, they're the easy things for us to control. So, you know, we've set ourselves, I believe anyway, a new set of standards as far as our Test cricket is concerned this week. I think we've
Lots been made about the sledging in this that's taken place during this test.
Your shit.
Fuck off. Now, I'm personally not convinced that it's made a massive difference about the whole thing. I do think England may be even slightly drawn into it, but one thing is that Australia have been a lot more into this test, haven't they?
Yeah, but they've been playing good, so when they play good, they mouth off more. I think it's pretty much as simple as that.
Chicken and egg, though. So you don't think that there's any? You don't think that they've been more aggressive? They've deliberately taken a more aggressive stance in this test.
I think that had they played the way they played in Adelaide, I don't think they would have been as aggressive as they were now. So I think a lot more is to do with when you're playing good, you talk a lot more. Or as an Australian, I know I do. I do it in the press box. Like if I write something really good, I'll just turn around and go, "Brinkley, you're a dick."
I'm not really worried about that. Obviously, they're going to take some momentum.
Mitchell Johnson, is he going to be as effective in Melbourne?
I'd say no, because who knows though? I mean, he's so hard to talk about because he doesn't know how he does what he does. So it's worked here. Will it work in Melbourne? It's a different kind of breeze in Melbourne. I always get very frustrated when they talk about the wind's coming from one end to the other. It doesn't come from one end to the other in Melbourne. It swirls around in circles. You know, like a bit like Mitch's mind, really. So I have no idea if he's going to be as good. It won't be as quick though. So I mean, he'll move. He will miss out on that.
Okay, if there's some sort of form guide. He was taking his wickets at under 20 before at the WACA. At Melbourne he takes them about 26, and at Sydney he takes them about 35. So England can hope that he'll get progressively slightly less effective if the pass means anything.
You obviously had some good success.
Ricky Ponting, 99th Test victory, 36th birthday today, so happy day for him. He was in good form, good mood in the press conference. once. Nice to see him have an opportunity to smile. We've word about his finger is that Australia have picked an unchanged squad for Melbourne, so unchanged 12-man squad. They say that there's a small fracture on his little finger, and the consensus is that he's likely to play. But what sort of impact would it have if he did?
I think it's going to have a big impact. I think the bowling group like bowling for him as much as he can be crazy at times. But I think the most important thing is that Michael Clarke doesn't really have the respect of anyone at the moment. Before the series, it looked like the players were revolting against him. And on top of that, he's batting terribly. He looks like he's got an injured back. Does he really need to be leading his first test with a number 3 who's probably going to be Usman Khawaja, who's 24 years old? I don't think he needs all that sort of pressure on him right at the moment. So even though Ponting isn't batting good, he might be better off staying for that one test and playing with a bit of, what was it, a little small problem on his finger.
Distractor on his little finger.
His little tininess.
John Townsend from the West Australian. Well, Australia have got their energy and their emotion back, and they're playing outstanding cricket at the moment. And with their 4 fast bowlers going so well and half of their top order going pretty well, you'd think that they're only going to have to get a couple of their blokes back in form for Melbourne to keep this very strong run going. They've shown some very good signs, I think, in this test match that this series is alive, but Australia are coming hard.
Mullally, Jared, who's yours?
My Mullally goes to Greg Chappell today. He said that Ponting was the captain basically because no one else was any good, which would have pleased Michael Clarke. And then Mitchell Johnson has just said that he was dropped for Adelaide, which means that Greg Chappell saying he was rested was the bullshit that we all assumed it to be. So well done, Greg.
My Mullally, not too much cricket today, really. Thanks. It's sort of a mixture of Swanee's innings, I suppose, typified the whole England lower order, or whole England innings, really a bit confused, a lot of hooks, and then trying to drive on and just nicking it on. But really the whole batting line. Farewell tweet. On a miserable day for the English, who better than national treasure Piers Morgan to issue a rallying call for all those worth knowing. Okay, England, we move on. And I still think we'll win the Ashes. Go get 'em at Kevin PP24. Good night, and we'll see you in Melbourne.
Bricks at the ashes.